This week, we're diving a bit further into Summer Game Fest announcements, breaking down the main show and the Ubisoft Forward. This is the Good Game, Bad Game podcast.
This is a song I wrote about the Good Game, Bad Game podcast. Good Game, Bad Game podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Good Game, Bad Game podcast. I'm your host, Spencer. With me is a man enjoying a nice cold beverage because for once we're not recording at 8 a.m. It's my co-host, Mike. Mike, what you drinking?
One, how did you know?
Honestly?
Two, sometimes I drink in the morning.
That's true. I mean, I do just say a nice cold beverage. So if you decided to pour yourself a tall glass of milk, that is a cold beverage.
Yeah, honestly, that sounds pretty good right now.
If you also pour yourself a beer, that is a cold beverage.
Yeah, I poured myself a beer, but it's like kind of room temperature. No, I'm just kidding. It's nice and cool.
It was that was honestly just a shot in the dark. I mean, I figured there was like
You just assumed I was drinking. That sounds fair.
No, I just figured it's like a 50-50. No. Hang on. Don't make this a negative. I was just as prepared for you to say yes I am as I was for you to say no I'm not. So
yeah, no, I cracked open a beer for this episode. It's been a while since we recorded at night. I'm having a beer called Smooth Beats Miami from Finback. That's pretty good.
Is that like a Daft Punk alias, Finback?
Could be.
With their smooth
They're from
beats.
New York City, so who knows?
Daft Punk?
Huh? No, Finback.
Oh.
Isn't Daft Punk European or something?
Yeah, I thought they were French. It explains why they pee on each other. How are you doing? How was your weekend games?
Damn it, I have a great segue. I wish this would have come later.
Oh.
Maybe I'll fiddle in. We'll see. If not, I'll tell you. Speaking of peeing on each other.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Ubisoft. Anyway. Shit. Did I play video games this week?
I mean, it's okay if you haven't. It's been like half a week since we last talked, technically.
Damn, I don't know that I did. I know we got set up to play Unravel 2 at one point, and then the night just got a hold of us, and we didn't actually play it. It just, like, literally sat on the start screen for 2 hours. You know how, like, you say, oh, I'll play a game right before I go to bed, but then you do, like, everything you need to do to be ready for bed before you play the game?
I honestly have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Well.
Oh, okay. So Spencer just doesn't know how to be an adult. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. So, long story short, we said, oh, let's get the game queued up. Let's go, like, take care of our breakfast for the week. So we typically, like, pre-make smoothies for the week.
Sure.
And get the dogs ready for bed, clean the cat box, whatever, everything we do at night. And while we, like, started doing that, I turned the Xbox on, got Unraveled, set up, and it just sat there until we went to bed. And then we said, it's 10:30. So we're just going to turn this off and go to sleep. And that was that.
Damn.
My initial plan before my work just absolutely fucked me was to play video games tonight, but
here we are.
But here we are. I'm on vacation, and my work said, well, actually, we need you to be in a meeting on Monday morning.
And to be clear, what we're doing currently is not work. I'm not, like, you're not mad at me.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm mad at my employer, who I'm considering doxing and getting myself fired from.
All right. Maybe don't. Also,
they need me more than I need them.
Yeah. So true. Take that.
You have to understand, I live in New York, so I can literally go work at a brewery for like $50,000 a year. And that's fine.
Good. Do that.
I might.
Will that make you happier?
Probably.
There you go.
It'll also make me way less money. So, but I'll be happier. But I also have to go into office because I don't think I can work from a brewery from home. And I'm literally just talking like serving and washing dishes. Like that's literally all I would do. That's my backup plan. Just if I go off the rocker and quit my job one day, I'm literally just gonna go wash dishes.
Yeah.
Put these 2 degrees to work.
I feel like that's too many people's reality, unfortunately.
Yeah, probably. Might as well join the masses.
Also, I just want to be clear. I did understand what you were saying. I too have had moments where getting coffee ready for the next day and doing the dishes that we let pile up in the sink for the past 4 days.
Oh, I don't do that anymore because my wife beats me if I do that.
Listen, I'm
Nothing, honey. I said I love you.
I'm
Sorry, she's home this time. She's not home when I record.
I'm like 4 months behind you, so I'm trying to catch up to being as much of an adult as you are.
4 months. Oh, in age, yeah.
Yeah. But doesn't it at times feel like more?
You're like, not really.
Oh.
Does it?
At times I feel like it's because you had a full year on me in school. So at times I feel like...
So Pennsylvania tried. Pennsylvania tried real hard.
Not hard enough, damn it. So at times it feels like we have a much larger age gap.
You're like 7 days away from being an entirely different generational cohort from me. Depending on who you ask.
Yeah. Now, some people would say that we're Gen Z.
Yeah.
And those people would be wrong. We had a landline in my house.
Yep. Dial-up internet.
And terrible internet, yeah. So I think I didn't have the advancements to make me a Gen Zer enough.
Yeah. We tried to watch YouTube videos at either of our houses, and we could watch like one in a night.
Yeah.
We'd have to let it buffer and then go play a game where we had controllers wired to the console.
I was literally about to say we would have to queue up like 7, pause them all, so that way they'd be ready in about 3 hours.
Yeah.
For 15 minutes of entertainment.
We're home, go like beg him to get off his computer because his computer took up all the bandwidth.
Good times. Good times.
You want to hear completely un-game related? You just reminded me because you're making me feel old because you apparently think I'm like like 10 years older than you.
I literally just a year basically. So it's like sometimes when I stop to think about it, I'm like, we're literally only 4 months apart, which is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. You and I are closer in age than me and my wife. I think. By a month, yeah. That's true.
You and I are closer in age than me and my wife.
Wow.
We should be married.
Sounds like it. What was it? Friday night, we were out, and we're out at like 9:30. And we weren't planning to be like, it just happened we had some stuff clear up. And we were out in Syracuse. And so we're like, oh, let's go to a couple of like our favorite places since we seldom get to do that anymore. And we walk up to this one bar, and I had both mine and Justine's IDs in my wallet. And I reach for my wallet and start opening it, and the bouncer's like, nah, you're good. Like, what? I think Justine genuinely got offended. I was like, at least like card her. I don't give a shit if you think I look old. I've just never had that. That's the first time in my life where like I've gone to a bar past 9 p.m. and there's a bouncer and he's like, you're good.
That circumstance is definitely pretty wild. But also, I don't know, like...
It's because I was wearing cargo shorts, I'm sure. And ankle socks. Apparently that's not in anymore.
I feel like there's I don't know. I don't take it as like I think if somebody doesn't feel the need to card you, that just means you like just definitely look older than 21. Not it doesn't necessarily mean you look old. I don't know how to, you know what I mean? There's like
But isn't like the rule of thumb like if you look like you're under 40, we card you?
I think that's what
So
some
like,
places are supposed to do, but like Shelby and I just went to like a Total Wines type place.
mhm.
And the fucking dude who like checked us out buying 4 cases of Mike's Harder definitely was younger than Shelby and I, like for a fact. Like, and
Did you ID him?
no, he carded us, and I thought that. I was like, now hang on a second.
Are you old enough to be selling liquor to me?
I'm pretty sure I need to see your identification. So I don't know. I feel like some people they just know. They've got the internal barometer for clocking people's age.
Yeah. There's a certain radar for that kind of stuff. I think I don't remember what it's called though. Well, maybe that was something else.
That's something else.
Oh, okay. I think I can count on one hand the amount of times that I've been carded in like a situation where they weren't carding everybody since I've been 21.
Yeah, because you've looked 21 since you were like 15 and could grow a beard.
Yeah. Yeah. "60, here I come."
Maybe you are 10 years older than me. What the
It
fuck?
could be. I don't know. I don't have any way to prove that I'm not 38 and not 28. Like, I don't have an official copy in my birth certificate. I don't think. I think I just have a copy.
Is a copy not an official copy?
No, it's like my parents scanned it on their 1990 Xerox printer. Or sorry, scanner. They were two separate things at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, get it right.
It's literally on dot matrix paper. Like it's got the little like perforations on the side from ripping the holes off of it.
What were we even talking about at this point?
Anything but the Game Awards, please. Or not the Game Awards, whatever it is. Summer Games Fest.
Yeah, which is run by the Game Awards.
Yeah, and we should do a poll. Like, do people want to hear about how old we are, or do they want to hear about the show?
It might get that the voting might be too close on that.
Yeah.
1-0.
Do we need to have a third one that's delete your account?
Just shut it down.
Yeah.
Retire.
Hey, we are more episodes in than the Cleveland show, so
Is that true?
it's got to be, right?
You know, we're on, little fun fact, we're on episode 194.
I really thought we were in the 300s.
So, so yes, I do believe we are. You're probably right. We probably do have more episodes than the Cleveland show.
I mean, there's probably like Cleveland show is, I think, net like 25 minutes per episode.
Mm-hmm. But it only lasted like 4 seasons.
Right, and there's only like 12 episodes. Oh, maybe like 17 episodes per season if it's like Family Guy.
Yeah, it's probably, it might have even been closer to like half a year's worth. So it might have been closer to like mid-20s.
Yeah.
But even still, 4 seasons, mid-20s. Even if you're generous and say 25 episodes, that's only 100 episodes.
Yeah, so suck it, Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah. You unsuccessful piece of shit.
Yeah.
You've done literally nothing else that's wildly successful.
Yeah, except for almost dying 9/11.
Did that happen?
Yeah, you didn't hear that story?
No. I've never heard this story. I hope somebody on the internet can tell me about it.
Am I that somebody?
You can be, but I feel like it's something that everybody
No, there's an
brings up.
interview with him about it. He was flying from New York City, and he missed his plane that
Are
day.
you fucking with me?
And now he makes a shit ton of 9/11 jokes because he feels entitled to, because it was almost him.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. I watched an interview with him.
I know. It's like one of the most well documented like celebrity facts out there.
Is it?
For sure.
Well, wait till I tell you this. I'm just kidding. I don't have anything else off the top of my head.
Let's talk about these shows. Oh my god. Hang on. I need a second. I need a breather.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay. Let's start with Summer Game Fest. So we talked about it a little bit last week when we kind of summed up, how the overall show was. Remind me, what score would you give just the main show, like the thing that kicks off Summer Game Fest? Because I know you were saying that at the Xbox Showcase really like made the weekend a success, but let's talking the that like opening show, which is like what, 2 hours, 3 hours or something crazy like that. It's just absolutely packed. What would you give that for like a letter grade?
Oh man.
Or not letter grade, a scale from 1 to 10.
A letter grade might be easier. So I guess I can kind of like figure that out. For me, I'll give 2 grades. For me personally, it was like a D.
Yeah, but that would be a 6 out of 10. Was it a 6 out of 10? It
was more of like a 3 out of 5.
That is a 6 out of 10. You fuck.
Yeah, but it sounds worse.
That's not how fractions work.
Well, you're the one that said 6 out of 10 and can't do fractions. You should have simplified, idiot. Who's the one that's bad at math now?
All right, I would give it a 12 out of 20. Okay, no, but seriously,
so you fucking didn't.
All right, so
there was I don't think it was a fucking 8 out of 10. How about that?
I don't think so either.
4 out of 5, as us mathematicians put it.
I don't even know if I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. I might be falling to like a 5.
Here's why I think this is so hard to grade, and I think that's fair, because I don't and I think we talked about this last week. There was like no gameplay.
Yeah.
It was just cinematic after cinematic, and then like developers talking about something that doesn't exist yet. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
There was nothing that I saw. There was one thing from this entire list that's a game that like was I think it was still just a cinematic. But there was one wow moment to me, and that was a new Quidditch game.
Yes, that was definitely surprising.
Yeah. Other than that, I have mostly observations about it. Should I just go through those?
Yeah, dive into it. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to sneeze, and then I'll do that.
Okay. I will just...
Just kidding. It was all a lie. Shut up. I'm talking now.
I was just gonna say I'll interject and alley-oop and dunk on stuff with you as necessary.
I mean, you're welcome to, but the sneeze was a lie, and I want you to know that was this sneeze talking and not me. I didn't mean any of that, and I respect your voice in this podcast.
You shouldn't. You should be the vote for shut it down.
that was the reason I wanted it there. There would be at least one vote. I could promise you that. Okay. I think the big overarching thing is everything that I saw, I had no idea other than Quidditch. I had no idea if it's something we already knew about or not.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Like, I feel like most
there-
of the stuff that was shown, like, we knew about already.
Oh, but you're unsure if we've heard of it?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I
Like,
would
did I know there
agree.
was a Civ 7? Like, it feels like it, right?
Sure.
You can disagree with me.
No, I hear what you're saying. I kind of have that same feeling of like a lot of stuff was like I just didn't know if I felt the inverse of what you were trying to say. I felt like there was a lot of stuff where it's like we've seen this, right? No? We haven't? Maybe?
Yeah.
The only ones that I was like for sure on were like that new game that's not Persona but from the Persona devs.
Yeah.
And like Black Myth and that little bit of Star Wars Outlaws that we got at the Summer Game Fest thing. And then otherwise it was kind of just like Kingdom Come Deliverance or like you're saying like Civ 7. It's like we've seen this, right? Do we know about this? Is this new? Is this Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought that was weird. Another thing that I thought was very strange about this, very little Xbox branding. Like, Xbox basically got that. Which one was it? Was it the Metaphor game? Was that the one that was the original Persona creators?
Yeah.
Okay. That one had Xbox branding, and then we saw so much other stuff that only had like PlayStation and Steam branding.
Do you want to know what I found to be very shocking? Was the kickoff of Lego Horizon Adventures.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, it said that it's like coming to PS5, PC, and Switch. And I'm like, like noticeably missing is Xbox. Like that's super intentional. If it would have just had PlayStation branding, it's semi-ambiguous. You could just assume that okay, it's only coming out on PlayStation. It's
Right.
super weird that it's coming to everything but specifically Xbox. Like
Yeah.
that's
And
kind
that
of
feels like an exclusion.
yeah, it feels kind of like what the fuck? And why? What is the actual purpose of that other than to be just twats? You're really going to gatekeep a Lego game? Are we serious?
I would love to know the conversation that happened between PlayStation and Lego. Because like I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's cool. You're sharing your IP. And Sony's like, well, don't say that.
Yeah, let's not.
We're not.
But also, real quick, going off of that, I low key love the idea and think taking other like I started thinking about it from like another like, oh, what if they got other first party IPs and made like a Lego game out of them? Because the Lego games are just like very fun, very ridiculous, and like super casual, which is just sometimes exactly what you need. And I was like, you know what'd be fucking cool? If they did like the Halo Master Chief Collection, but Lego.
That would be cool.
Like, how cool would that be? And I just started thinking about it. I was just like, they could do this with other IPs too, like an Uncharted Lego game. I'd be all for it. There's some untapped potential here in my eyes.
I decided, when I saw this and that it was a Lego Horizon game, maybe it was over a year ago now, but Lego made like a Horizon set, like physical set.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's a awful random partnership. But now it makes sense. So I wonder, like, if that will kind of be an indicator of franchises that will be coming to Lego.
Yeah. But there has to have been.
That was just so random.
There has to have been like Halo Lego like stuff, right? Like you can't tell me you couldn't build like a Lego Warthog or some shit, right?
I know there's another brand that's like a Lego knockoff that does the Halo stuff.
I gotcha. Okay.
Because that's actually like a continuous thing, but it's not Lego that makes it. It's one of the other ones.
Bionicles, yeah.
Well, Lego makes Bionicle.
Fuck. Shit.
Yeah. Fuck shit indeed.
I don't know how to feel about anything in my reality anymore. But yes, so the branding stuff was interesting, and just again, right off the jump, for one, just them to show off a Lego Horizon game, that was surprising, and two, for it to just very intentionally have everything listed, but like they should have just said coming to everything but Xbox. Like they should have just said that and been extra like dicks about it. But anyway,
that would have been funny. And just interesting placement, like you said, that was the first thing we saw.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, moving on from that, like I thought that uh Lego Horizon thing looked really cool. Would play it. I guess I'll have to get it for the Switch. Um I mean, there was nothing here that really appealed to me. We already ripped apart Meta for like having a cinematic trailer for a VR game, which was kind of strange.
For Batman specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I wonder what this Batman character is. What could this possibly be about from a story standpoint?
Yeah, and I mean, going right from that, I think like it was. I have it in my note just before Batman, my Batman note. So I'm assuming it was like the announcement before, give or take. Black Myth, Wukong, they just, it was all cinematics. They didn't really show any gameplay from what I remember. In my note I say not showing gameplay at all. With an August release is just such a
$400 collector's edition.
yeah, that's just such a fucking specific choice to not like that's weird. That's gives me icky vibes, you know? Like we're 2 months away from this game coming out and we don't really know much. And I mean maybe there's been gameplay stuff released for it, but like this is the time to show when like the most eyes are going to be on it, and I don't know. I guess maybe there's enough hype around it to not need to, but
Maybe. Yeah, that's strange.
yeah, I mean honestly like I'm with you. Like I have some notes here, but like all in all, this is kind of what I was talking about last week. There was not a ton of stuff where I'm like, nice, or oh great, this needs to get added to my backlog. Ho hum.
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly, it's just like okay, like there's some stuff that looks like solid and like neat, but like there's nothing that's like, oh my god, I have to play that. I'm trying to think.
I will
Go ahead.
I will say while you're thinking, the Power Rangers game that they showed, one, kind of looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
Two, just triggered so many things from my childhood, and I think I spent the whole rest of the weekend just singing "Go Go Power Rangers" repeatedly.
That's that's like the game that gives off like the old school arcadey, like almost Teenage
Yeah.
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, it's exactly what TMNT
Yeah.
is doing, which like I kind of dig.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would be in a grocery store and I'd just like hum the jingle, and then people would go, "Aw."
Oh. Let's see. That Delta Force. I don't know if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that was like giving me like it made me think back to when we were playing Ghost Recon a lot.
Yeah.
I was getting those vibes. It honestly like reminded me of some like older like Call of Duty campaigns. So it honestly looked pretty solid. I also put in here that the Blumhouse
Yep.
back and forth was so fucking ridiculous. Like it was so bad. But they actually showed off some interesting games. The one game definitely was giving me like BioShock vibes.
Yeah.
And then another one. Go ahead.
Oh, this is gonna say they had the one where it's like they hired a game developer to solve a mystery.
That one looked neat, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was cool. That was one of the things that I had written down that wasn't like game related that I just thought was really cool. I'm all for new studios, and the fact that they have so many projects under them already is pretty cool. So I'll be interested to see what they're able to put out over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I think they showed little sneak peeks of like, I think 5.
I think it's everything that like every studio that they have under them. I think they showed little snippets from everything.
Yeah, and it was like 5 games or something like that, like currently getting ready for their like first launch of gaming, which is pretty cool. They also showed one that was like gave off like cozy farm vibes.
Yeah.
But the back and forth was just like, it's just so on par for these events. I actually thought Jeff was doing a really nice job of kind of like giving them good segues to talk about their next thing. And then they just like, they just fumbled it each time. Like Jeff was like, tell us a little bit about like all of these projects. And then I don't know, what's the guy, is the head of Blumhouse Michael Blum or something like that?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, we've always been big into the horror movies. And it just like didn't start talking about the games that are upcoming. And then he ended it with like, so we thought, why not do video games? And it's just like, so you didn't answer what Jeff asked.
Do you think that has anything to do with them like knowing they're outsiders and like trying too hard to appeal to gamers?
It
A
definitely,
notoriously just god awful group of people.
it definitely gave off the vibes of like, I already know what I want to talk about. I need to make sure I hit on these things, and just kind of like ears ringing. And then you see Jeff stops talking and you just go, oh, fuck, I need to start talking now. And then you just go into like whatever your script basically was of like, these are the talking points.
Here's what I don't understand. You're an outsider, you're a movie studio, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're new to games. You're clearly not used to talking to a gaming audience. Steve Ballmer, also in LA, also formerly of Microsoft. You get Steve Ballmer in there to fire people up, sweat and all. And the people on the front row have ponchos on. Like, that's how you get a group of gamers.
Honestly, I think the way to go about it is like, you know how like when you have to give a speech in school, you like kind of psych yourself up. Well, I'm terrible with like public speaking. I hated it. But like, so I would have to like always psych myself up. And then eventually I hit that point where I was just like, nobody sitting here is even fucking listening. Why do I care? It's not the exact same, but it's a similar approach of, these people are such fucking losers. They're at an event specifically centered around upcoming video games. I think I can handle this. Like, talk down to them a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
We're kind of into that as gamers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why everybody likes goth girls. Like, we want a little abuse. It was a collective we, by the way.
Yeah, the royal we.
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny. The Killer Bean game looked so fucking cool.
Justine and I, this is my only thought on this, and then I'll let you riff on it.
Yeah.
Justine walked in the room when that came on, and we both thought it was a potato.
Okay.
And then when we found out it was a bean, we were multitudes less interested in it.
You're not fans of legumes?
Not as much as if it were a potato. Like, I don't understand a legume's motive.
Sure.
Okay? Like, a potato could snap at any second. I get it.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, beans, I don't know what demographic they're going for. Anyway, that was it. I'm interested to hear your opinions.
I just thought it looked silly and very like over the top, and then like the gameplay and like overall movement was giving me like Saints Row like 3, 4, like vibes. But then they said it's a roguelike. And so I was like, I'm in, like say less.
I feel like every game gets that classification now.
Roguelike.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
There was another game, and I forget which one it was, but it said like roguelite, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely hitting that boundary of what we were talking about last week, where it's like some of these genres are getting super, super, super saturated. And now we're also, starting to kind of hit the point where people are just saying genres that don't actually apply.
They're just putting it in a random generator and
they're like, yeah, say, what do the kids like these days? Roguelikes, eh? All right. Slap it on the box.
We can call our game that.
And it has no like runs or anything like that. It's just a single player, like linear story.
Yeah.
They said this was a roguelike.
And I feel like that genre is just like vague enough that you can. Like, it's like MMO. Like, what is an MMO?
It's a massive multiplayer online.
But what is it?
I don't know.
What is an RPG?
Yeah, listen, we still at some point I'm gonna do the breakdown and I'm gonna break it all down for you one of these days.
Yeah. De facto.
But you're right, like
how come you put massive jugs on the beans and it becomes a JRPG? Like, why? Is that what the J stands for? Jugs?
No.
Sure seems like it.
I think generally people can just throw names. But if it is truly a roguelike and there's runs and like progression and stuff like that resets and a new procedural levels and stuff like that, start over from scratch, all that stuff, that's itching my bean, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Sam Lake.
I want to give... Who?
Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to give Games Radar insane credit for how they, like, the description that they gave that game. Because they said it's a new roguelike shooter from one of the lead Matrix animators and is basically GTA with beans. Like, there's a lot going on there. It's a roguelike shooter.
Uh-huh.
From the lead Matrix animators.
Uh-huh.
And it's basically GTA with beans.
I see, yeah. Again, it was giving me more Saints Row vibes, but that's fine. I don't want to be pedantic. Okay, Sam Lake. My next point.
Alan Wake?
That guy. Sam. Wait, did I say Wake or did I say Lake?
Well, I don't know.
Okay, Sam Lake.
Sam Lake.
The director for... The game director for Alan Wake. Isn't he just so fucking cool?
He's pretty cool.
He seems like a really cool guy. He's
like... Oh, never mind. I forgot the other guy's name. Never mind.
He like came out, did the dance, did like part of the dance from the Game Awards that they did like on stage, and then was like, DLC shadow dropped tomorrow, boom, and then like showed it quickly, and it's like you get to play as 3 different characters that are all from the Alan Wake Remedyverse.
Quantum Break. So
I thought that was really cool. And was just like, I don't know, it's like, that's what like E3 and like all the best announcements are, right? It was when it's just like, oh, you want Fallout? Well, guess what? You can go play Fallout Shelter while you sit and wait for the next Fallout game. It's like shit like that, where it's just like, oh, but there's something for me to do right now, today, or within the next 24 hours. I love those types of announcements. So I thought that was cool.
I agree. And that just... See, we want to talk backlogs. seeing that made me go, fuck, I still haven't played Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, I still haven't played Alan Wake.
I still haven't played Control either.
Well, frickin' Austin Patrickery was playing. He's like playing all of the games in order, and I didn't realize how much they actually like bleed into each other. Because I played Control, and I had no idea. Like I thought the Alan Wake portion of it was just like a nod to like this is another game that we made, and then he played Alan Wake, and I watched a good bit of it, and then he was playing Control, and I was like, wait. I know, like, I get this now. I get that reference. And now there's other stuff in Alan Wake too. It's a whole thing. And I'm just like, God damn it. So I really need to go back and play.
I had no idea when I played Quantum Break years ago that it was in, like, that universe.
The Remedy verse.
And then, like, yeah, there's literally, like, a section where you're in a lecture hall. And it's just, like, conspiracy theories about Alan Wake. And it's apparently like supposed to be his handwriting, and then like there's this complete like subset of the game where you're trying to like figure out all these things from Alan Wake.
God, they're so cool. I love that. I love the dedication, and like again now actually having seen and like understanding it just a bit more, like the payoff of some of the like the through lines that they've put in is just like it's super impressive, honestly. Like real tip of the cap. Trying to think if there was really much else.
I think the coolest thing about the show was Inner Sloth coming out and saying that they're doing a fund for like final leg of game development for people.
Yeah, what was it? They said it's like outer. They're calling it
call
outer,
it outer
sloth.
sloth.
Yeah, I thought that was neat
and incredible because they made like essentially a mobile game during COVID that like I don't know. During COVID, Justine and I played it, but we didn't like pay for anything.
Yeah.
And they didn't have at the time, I don't know if this is still true, but at the time they didn't have any ads in the game. But they made a killing off of that. And now they're funding off of this one like this is not at all like discrediting their work, but like this one small like 2D game that just from like a game theory standpoint was incredible. And now they're just funding all of these other game studios. And there was one in there, I forget the developer and what game that they made, but it was like a pretty well-renowned game, and even they're going through their program. And I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's nice to see like creatives and companies help bolster other small creatives.
Yeah.
And kind of like acknowledging that they're like in a lot of ways they're acknowledging that like yeah, what they did was good and everything, but in a lot of ways there's a lot of luck in being a small game and like hitting a certain like level like they did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And kind of acknowledging that and like paying that goodwill forward effectively is
Right.
great to see. I think the only other thing I actually have for Summer Game Fest was I don't really know excuse me. I don't really know why they got Tim Robinson. And I for like
Guess he can do a tray flip downstairs.
75% of that announcement, I was like, what the fuck is this even talking about? And then I was like, oh, Skate. So are you excited for Skate?
The more and more I see from Skate, the less excited I am about it. It's kind of getting the Hellblade effect.
Yeah.
I'm also a little bitter because I signed up for the alpha and they told me to screw. I'm like, why?
They were like, how many followers do you have?
I have 57 and they're all bots.
One that matters.
Yeah.
Me.
Yep.
Okay.
No, I am excited for it. I'm gonna play the hell out of that game.
Yeah.
Like when that game comes out, that'll be it. That'll be the only game I'll be playing.
I figured you had to be some level of excited for it. And I
Yeah,
loved
dude,
that
it's
they
gonna
got
get me
Tim
back on the
Robinson.
board, and then I'm gonna like probably break everything, and then I'll have plenty of time to play it, so it'll work out.
break your ankle.
Yeah, I'll step off just because I'll be such a bad skateboarder and I'll break my ankle.
All right, that's mean. That's mean spirited.
More observant.
You
than
didn't have to
anything.
say bad skateboarder.
A good skateboarder wouldn't have broken their ankle stepping off a skateboard.
Yeah, but you didn't need to say it.
I know I didn't need to. I wanted to.
Actually, real
I'm
quick.
sorry. It's all in good humor. I love you. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, it's good. I'm actually upset and going to go cry in the shower after this.
I just figured we were like, I don't know, past it. I've waited 15 years to joke about it.
Oh my god. Not to get back into the whole age thing, but
Yeah, over half my life. I've waited to joke about it.
More time has passed since I broke my leg than time had passed in my life to breaking my leg. The last thing I do want to say is, because we only touched on it in passing, but the whole metaphor thing, when you brought up about how the branding or whatever, it literally did only show Xbox branding. And I think I said they were showing it. I was like, oh my God, this looks so good. I'm so excited for this. And then they showed the Xbox stuff, and Shelby was like, is it only coming to Xbox? And I was like, oh my fucking God. And then I ran to the PlayStation store and was just going, fuck. Oh, shit. Like typing it in, found it, put it in my list. But I was like, please God. But that's what that branding does. It makes you think things are exclusive that aren't. And
yeah, I'm assuming it'll just be on Game Pass. I don't know if they said that or not. I don't remember.
I thought they did say coming day one to Game Pass, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I do think that game looks sick, and I'm really excited for it. I mean, I know we touched on like a decent bit of stuff, but I mean, again, this was like a 2-hour show at least, right? I actually can't even remember.
Yeah.
I think it was like 2 hours, and then Day of the Devs was like roughly an hour maybe, and then Devolver was maybe 30 minutes or something like that. But regardless, there was a lot of other stuff shown, and we skipped a lot of it, which I think says a decent bit.
It's funny. I saw a lot of commentary about like Jeff Keighley saying it's an 8 out of a 10.
Mm-hmm.
And people in the industry being like, why wouldn't you say it's a 10 out of 10? Like, it's your show.
It's probably good that he said it was an 8 out of 10.
I agree. But like, it was not that at all. So like now when he says something's like a 10 out of 10, perfect, like I guess I just know to expect like it's maybe a 7 or an 8.
Sure.
I don't know. I just it was funny to me that people were like, oh, he's not hyping up his show, but he really fucking was.
In a lot of ways. Yeah, it was
people should have been stoked.
It was just missing a lot of like, and he did kind of say that like it doesn't have like the one more thing and all that stuff, but it really did like it really did lack a lot of like, oh my God moments, you know? Like I don't really know if any one thing was shown where I was like jaw agape in awe of what I was seeing.
Quidditch has it.
But even that, I was just kind of like, they're making a Quidditch game? I said that out loud. I was like, they're making a Quidditch game? And Shelby was like, yeah, they're showing it to you right now. And I went, curious. Like it didn't blow me away, you know?
It was just a very right field kind of thing, you know?
Like, I think that kicked off the show, right? It was like Lego Horizon and then Quidditch, and both of them made me go, "What?" Like it was kind of like a head tilt, not really not really a gasp, shock. So anyway, that's where I netted out on it. I mean,
I feel like if the Quidditch game would have come out in like 2020, people would have been all over it.
yeah, or like 2015.
Well, yeah.
Like a launch PS4
Same thing could be
era.
said about NCAA, but
Well, I think they did have one in 2015, didn't they? Wasn't that the
I
last
don't
one?
think they did. I think 2014 was the last one, but I could be wrong.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right.
It's at least that 2014 was the last one that mattered.
Sure. I think it was the last one. Yeah. Just kind of fell flat. And again, that's also, I think it's safe to say or fair to say, like that's just our general feelings on it. I mean, I think the nice thing was that there was a pretty wide variety of stuff shown. So I think we touched on it last week where it's like after this whole weekend, I think every single person could watch the event and like walk away saying there's 3 or 4 games that I'm fairly excited for. And I honestly think in some ways, like having good parity like that, across releases and stuff is like a good thing. But I do think when it comes to like the general masses and like the general trends and stuff like that, I don't really think I'd be shocked if somebody walked away going, everything I just saw was fucking amazing. I can't wait to play every single thing I just saw. I'd be utterly shocked if somebody was like that. If you were like that, contact me. I need to make sure you're okay and a real person.
I do think Jeff should be like kissing Xbox's feet though for having their showcase like the same weekend. Like I feel like people associate the summer Xbox game showcase with Summer Games Fest.
Is it not technically associated?
I don't think it technically is. I think they just kind of cross advertise.
Okay, because Summer Game Fest does like include it as a part of like the lineup. They basically
Do they?
They basically have ownership over like the weekend.
Oh well, maybe, but still, like
100% agree with what you're saying.
This year, like that's why, like I think if you group everything together, like the whole show was probably like an 8 out of 10, but it was really Xbox carrying it. And like I'll give Ubisoft credit too, and we'll talk about that. Like I think Ubisoft contributed a lot of short-term stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, we can jump right into that if you're good, unless you had anything else you wanted to touch on.
Yeah, since we were just talking about French people pissing on each other.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah,
nobody
saw it coming.
That was bottled up for
45 minutes.
45 minutes, like a good old French piss.
It's those long baguettes, it takes a while to get out of them.
That doesn't make sense. Take me through your impressions on the Ubisoft Forward.
I will give them like this overall credit. They showed a lot of gameplay. They showed solely gameplay ? With like a little bit of like I don't know. I know they had some live action like promo stuff, but it was all I think interlaced with video with like gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
I only had like one fuck you moment, and that's just whenever they brought up Skull and Bones. I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
Just
don't make this a thing. We don't care.
You're talking about this and not Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
But overall, like it was good to get like it's kind of like what you were talking about with Wukong. Like Star Wars Outlaws comes out at the end of the summer, and we got a ton of gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really good. I'm super excited for that game, and we'll probably buy it day one. They had good updates. I can't believe they're still making Rainbow Six updates, but good for them. I also didn't realize the X Defiant was out because last I saw it got delayed. But they're saying there's new content. Whatever. They're still riding the Prince of Persia hype train, I guess. which is
Yeah.
cool, I guess.
And they're doing a remake of Sands of Time,
Yeah, that was a good game.
which isn't coming out though. Like they announced that they're doing a remake that's not going to come out until 2026. I don't know. You could have waited to announce that next year, honestly.
Yeah,
What's the
like
point?
no one's gonna like hype that up for 2 years.
What's the point of that? Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it was a really good game, but like I'm not gonna think about it for the next year until they show it again and say it's delayed until 2027.
Also, I probably just bought that for my PS3, so I'm just gonna go play it on my PS3. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy the amount of like update content they have.
Yeah.
Like you touched on X Defiant, you touched on Skull and Bones.
Rainbow Six.
Yeah. There's gonna be DLC for the Avatar game, which I kind of like had forgotten about.
I saw that and thought it was the like going gold announcement for it. I completely fucking forgot it was
that
even
it came
out.
out.
Yeah.
Like
I'm like, content for a game that hasn't even come out yet? What?
I guess like in some ways it's like you probably hit the right amount of time where it's like if you want to try and squeeze anything else out of that game, like this is the right time to do it. So good on you.
Did anybody play it?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Ultimately, it's just this. I think a lot of this really showcased for me. I mean, I hate that I'm saying it because we just talked about this like what 3 weeks ago. I am like decently excited for Assassin's Creed.
I am too.
But I also just always they did it. They did it. They got me. Cuz that's every Assassin's Creed. I haven't played Mirage yet, so I was able to break the spell for a little bit, but it is only a matter of time until I play that. Cuz I know I'm going to because I'm a sucker. And it just this showcase did kind of just make me realize that like I really don't have a ton of faith in Ubisoft anymore.
Welcome to the club.
And it's just such a shame because I think you and I often would talk about it, before we ever were doing the podcast. But like, if we were just sitting around drinking juicy juice, we were talking about, oh man, Ubisoft is like all I play because it's like, yeah, they have freaking Far Cry and Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed and The Division and Ghost Recon, and wow, yeah, Ubisoft is easily my favorite developer. And now I look at it and I'm just like, they might be the developer I own the most of, but goddamn, do I not love their games anymore. That being said, I am super excited for Star Wars Outlaws. It's like given me like newfound hope in some ways, and hope is a big thing in the Star Wars world. You should know.
Yeah.
So
I think that Outlaws is gonna kind of give me what I want out of a Splinter Cell game. Not gonna be Splinter Cell because there is like a stealth aspect of it.
Sure.
Like, I don't know. I watch the gameplay and I see a lot of like what I would expect out of a new Splinter Cell, so I'm gonna enjoy it. I'll like it.
I mean, I think I do think it looks like really solid. I in some ways I'm kind of shocked that it's Ubisoft.
Yeah, I agree.
And I mean that with, and I'm not like trying to knock the game at all by saying that or saying it in any sort of tone. Like I genuinely think it looks really solid, and so I am very excited for it. But yeah, I don't know. Like there's just not. I feel like a Ubisoft event, I should be so freaking excited for it, and they just like it. Honestly, you know what this like bar for bar matched up with? It matched up with every single Pokemon Day event or like Pokemon Presents, where it's, oh, did you forget that Pokemon Cafe Remix is still a thing on your phone? Here's a content update that's coming. Here's an event that's going to be happening. Oh, Pokemon Sleep. And it's like all these updates for games that I do not fucking care about or that I forgot existed. And it's like, just tell me that you're making the next generation game. And it's like, yes, we're making Assassin's Creed. And it's like, cool. Thank you. Now leave. Again, just thinking back to like how how much I had them built up in my head in the past. It's like an event solely dedicated to Ubisoft should fucking rip, and it just doesn't, which just kind of sucks and makes me feel bad.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I guess I can phrase it this way: like, it was an hour-long show. About 15 minutes of it was to Star Wars, and about 15 minutes of it was to Assassin's Creed, and I'm genuinely excited for both of those.
Yeah.
And like the rest of it was content updates. So like base level, it was a good presentation.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's just not what it like. I completely commiserate with what you're saying. Like, there was a time where all I was playing was Ubisoft and like PlayStation first party games.
Yep. Yeah, and yeah, totally not like they. If anything, it's like they did a good job with this event. All things considered about the event, it's like I only care about these two games, and like, god damn it, that's what they showed. So it's like, cool. Like, you nailed it from that standpoint. But it's just, from a personal lens, I sit there and I'm just like, God, I can't believe that they're showing all these games, and I just do not fucking care about any of them. And in the past, It's like Ubisoft could have shit in my hands, and I would have been like, thank you. I wanted to be French. So, like, again, from an event standpoint, this was actually another solid one, all things considered. And I think helped the overall weekend. But yeah, man, this isn't the Ubisoft I used to know.
What was kind of weird about it is you don't really know what's next with Ubisoft, right?
I'll tell you what.
Star Wars is done. Like, I'm sure they're going to do content for Star Wars, right?
Yeah. I'll tell you what's not next for them.
Don't do it.
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Thanks.
Did I get them or did I get them?
You got them.
I think the last E3, whenever that was when Beyond Good and Evil 2 was first announced to be a thing. And I think it was maybe last year's Ubisoft Forward or 2 years ago. They were like, yeah, it's still happening. And it's like, this is fucking Skull and Bones all over again, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
This game is just never going to come out. Then it is actually going to come out, and it's going to fucking suck.
And then you're just going to try to push it. Like, instead of just killing it and moving on to something that people actually like want to hear about, you're just going to keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it.
You know when they should have launched...
Here's content for the game nobody plays.
You know when they should have launched Skull and Bones? Within 6 months of Black Flag coming out, because that is the only time people probably cared about ship combat. Otherwise, fuck out of here. What? You thought because Sea of Thieves had like this like great push that people were playing it and were like, wow, this game's great. You thought you could capitalize on that? Get out of here.
Did you watch any of the pre-show stuff from Ubisoft, like within the first 10 minutes of the show starting?
I don't know if I did.
So they were showing like clips from like that people submitted. I don't know how they got them. Like, I don't know if like it was like a hashtag that you could submit a clip or whatever, and it would possibly get put in the show. And one of the fucking clips was it was from Skull and Bones, and it was literally just like a guy steering his ship, and then an enemy ship glitching and just like soaring through the air and smacking into him.
And they decided to go with that.
I was like, this isn't much of a highlight. Like, that would piss me off.
They were like, game feature.
Look, you can make all of your viewer laugh. I don't know. I really think Ubisoft should have seen oh my god, Xbox's game. Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves, sorry.
They should have seen Sea of Thieves and just said, okay, they beat us to it.
Right. 100%. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have anything else on this specific Ubisoft event. I mean, again,
Yeah.
they showed
The
Assassin's Creed and they showed Star Wars, and it's like those are the two games if I'm going to be excited for anything.
Yeah. My only negative is I don't know what's next for Ubisoft, and that makes me nervous that it's just going to be more like last second dropped live service games or Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Like, I will fully respect if they continue with like the every 2 years model for Assassin's Creed. I think that's good. But part of me thinks that the new Assassin's Creed game is going to do really well, and they're like, "Oh, people want it again."
Yeah.
It's like, no, you just made the Assassin's Creed that people have been asking for 15 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is just take your time with the Assassin's Creed games. Like, just take your time and do it right, and don't try and don't try and give me real world story. Stop that.
Yep.
Just say I'm an assassin. You don't need to say that it's my ancestor. I don't care. Or if you're gonna do it, make it cool. Make the story actually cool, and and actually dedicate to it. Don't be lazy about it. Just make up your mind, damn it. I can't make up my mind, so do it for me, but do it right.
They could make Assassin's Creed Civil War. And it's just someone going into the Animus and finding out the terrible things that their Confederate ancestor did.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that it was somebody going in the Animus and finding out that they were on Captain America's side.
Yeah. Yeah. Guess that's an option too. Crossover.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is it is worrisome. It's like I don't like that I don't know what you could even potentially be working on, Ubisoft.
Like probably a new Far Cry, right?
Yeah, that'll be coming up somewhat soon.
Which one was the last one other than like 6? Like what was the story?
It was Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh, right, right. Did you play that?
You know, I did not. I have it. I have the DLC where you get to play as all the villains. I have not played it.
The story seemed super interesting, but I also said the same thing about Far Cry 5. And then, like, I started playing that game. I couldn't drive anywhere without just getting randomly fucking attacked and said, nope, enough of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not stopping. I hate games. I hate open world games where I have to stop every, like, 2 minutes because somebody ambushes me.
The Far Cry games do feel, I mean, I haven't played 6, but Far Cry 5 definitely felt stuck in like the PS3 era. And I think Far Cry 4 maybe could get a pass because I can't remember exactly when that came out. But Far Cry 5 was definitely deep enough into the life cycle, and it just felt stuck in the PS3 era. I don't really know how else to explain it in terms of like its overall polish. And again, I think it's something that you can look past in like the other ones. But I mean, also I went back and played like Far Cry 3, and for all of its like shortcomings, it actually in some ways like plays better to like the hardware I think that it came out on. So like, I don't know.
I finally beat Far Cry 3. I can't remember if it was when the Xbox One X came out or the Series X came out because it upscaled, and it felt fine. Like I beat that game finally, like in the past 3 or 4 years.
Good game.
Yeah,
probably the best one in the series.
I bought Far Cry 4 and then I didn't play it for so long, and I finally got to the point where I was like, I'm never gonna play this game. So to check it off my list, I literally just waited 15 minutes at the intro,
And
let the credits roll, and said, I did it.
And then Troy Baker came back and was like, you waited. Thanks. I asked you to do that. Shook your hand and the world was yours.
Yeah. So
Far Cry 4 was also really good. Far Cry 5, yeah, definitely was like a drop off. Like it's just been steps down each time. And like, that's like almost like watching True Detective. Not quite, but you know, like it's fine. Like they're not continuous stories. They're all like within their own like lens and everything like that, and it's totally fine. But it's just like to see like them getting worse. It's like you can make a masterpiece and the next one could suck, but if the one not suck, but is like slightly worse. But if the next one continues that trend, that's bad, right? Like you can, if it's 1 to 2 is fine, but once it's 2 to 3 continuing the trend, it's like that's worrisome. So I haven't played 6, and we'll see. But yes, Far Cry 7, or I guess they haven't done I don't think they've done like a mid-series game, which that's the other thing. I haven't played the one that's between 5 and 6. So anyway, that might be what's next. Otherwise, who knows? Yeah. And that's scary. Okay. Anything else on
For
Ubisoft?
me also?
Yep.
Yeah. Let's also talk about that there's more Division 2 content.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a game that I did not expect to have more than like 1 or 2 content updates, and it's still going? Like, I need to go in and see what that's about.
Yeah, do people actually like? Do people still play
there
these
a community
games?
For that?
Yeah, that's what I'm like so confused about.
I was really expecting when they brought the Division team on, there's supposed to be like a Division mobile game that's like open for pre-registration. And I was really expecting to finally see a release for that, and I don't think they said a goddamn word.
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Weird stuff. But that's all I had.
All right. Well, then that'll wrap for this week. Next week, we will dive into all of the indie stuff, which that's probably going to be a fairly jam-packed episode because just personally, there was a lot of really cool stuff shown. So that'll cover Day of the Devs, the Wholesome Direct, Devolver, and Tribeca, which I don't think Tribeca is obviously a part of Summer Game Fest, but we'll lump it in with anything that they show at their event. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll be a fun one to break down. Yeah, that does it. So as always, thank you all for listening. If you could leave us a rating or review wherever you do listen to the podcast, it'd be greatly appreciated. And as always, the best way to help us out is to share this podcast with a friend. Other than that, we will talk to you next week.